Welcome to Short Stated, a quick hit of the CP Stated podcast, where we take a fast, focused look at what our affiliates are doing and spotlight timely topics in the disability field. Just the essentials here. Clear, concise, and worth your time.
My name is Sara Trowers. I am the Chief Program Officer here at Jawonio, and I have oversight and strategic leadership for the Brick-A-Palooza Lego resale store.
My name is Laura Beth Malkowski. I am the Vice President of Day Services at Aspire of Western New York, and I am lucky enough to be part of the emerging leadership and be part of the podcast team. So we'd like to, first of all, Sara, welcome you to our podcast. We thank you for your time and your attention. We're super excited about the opportunity to ask you some questions specific to your Brick It Again program. So I'm just going to jump right in and hopefully, Sara, if you can just give us an overview of what Brick It Again is, so that our listeners can have a better understanding of it.
Absolutely. So Brick It Again is a Lego resale store that employs individuals that are in our Jawonio program or members of the community who have varying disabilities. We want to say that we are a community hub, that it really empowers people to live their best lives through training, work, and inclusion in the community.
Awesome. And kind of to jump on board with the program, how did it happen? Where was the spark? Where was that light bulb that your agency determined this would be a great fit for your for the community?
Sure. So Brick It Again was born from a desire to create an innovative community-facing business that also provided meaningful job opportunities for the individuals that we support. The store is a brainchild of our CEO, Randy Rios Castro, who drew on her experience from her board experience at Girl Again and then her nephew's love for Legos. So she came to the team one day and she said, "What if we sold Legos?" And in full transparency, I was like, "Legos?" It just didn't marry for me at the time. And, at that point, it was 3 months later and we were launching Brick It Again and, forward facing in the community as for the last 2 years, a hub of really a wonderful partnership between the people that we support and the people.
That's amazing. And Sara, did you have the space and kind of the space led to the development of Brick It Again, or did you have to cultivate relationships in the community to get that space?
Sure. So actually, it was the reverse. We had the idea, we had the discussion about the idea, and then we had to go out and source a location. And we were fortunate enough to get a storefront in a strip mall, which is not 10 minutes from our main campus. So we're located at 7 Lake Ridge Plaza in the Valley Cottage area. And, it's been great.
So 2 years, this kind of has been evolving. And what differences have you seen from, after that 3-month period to now? What have you seen? Where's the growth?
Sure. So the physical store, when we just started, we had at the time, I believe, 4 tables and 6 beautifully painted shelves. It was when you walked in a store that was in its infancy and starting. Now there is no space for Legos, right? We are like making aisles and it really has become the hub for Lego enthusiasts, collectors, and just, individuals who have a love for Legos and, also a place where people come to shop for gifts and search for that one unique piece that they need to, complete their set. So we've definitely seen the physical space transform over the last 2 years, but also I think for the people that we support, we had individuals who were very shy and wanted to sort of be in the back, now engaging with customers who are repeat customers who come in and want to know about how they're doing or a particular set, or if there is something happening in mainstream media. Like, let's say, the Star Wars movie came out or some buzz around that, we have people come in looking for particular items. And also we've seen those relationships transform. We've seen colleges and different community-based organizations wanting to come in and have that space be used for pre-vocational services or other internship opportunities. So we really have established ourselves as sort of a community hub where we see the growth and development throughout each of the individuals that we're supporting, but also the community members that keep coming back.
And it sounds like you've been part of the startup of Brick It Again. Sara, when did you know this was going to work? When did you know this was going to be a success?
I think, again, if I'm being honest, I was very skeptical in the beginning. And it was sort of like, here's a project, and if you could take us to opening day. And I'm like, sure, I could do that. And then I think we interviewed for the manager, who was wonderful, Andrew Purr. And I called Randy and I said, well, who's he going to report to? And she said, you. And I said, oh. And I think on opening day, really, when we saw the individuals that we were supporting show up for work, and we saw how the community came and, really showed up for us, I think that's when I said, oh, we may be onto something here. And I think once we recognized that we could tailor any job in the store to meet any ability of the people that we support, it really clicked. And I'm like, we are really onto something here. And we're going to just make magic. And that's what we've been doing.
It sounds amazing. It just sounds like one of those conversations that you had or those dreams you had in the shower that just came into fruition, and how exciting that it turned out to be so successful. And Legos are huge. I am so amazed at the it's almost like a cult following of Legos and the different types of Legos and adult Legos, and it really is such a good fit because it doesn't just fit one group. It's not just for young people. It really fits. There's a Lego for everyone. So it's
Absolutely.
just such a cool thought. So Sara, what a cool project. And how does it align with Jawonio's mission?
Sure. So people may not immediately think of Lego as a mission-driven initiative. And as I said before, I was very skeptical. I'm like, what are you talking about? Legos? That's not what we do. But you know what? It's a perfect fit. I think we're creating real paid employment for individuals who face barriers to traditional job markets. So it's not just retail, it's the vocational training aspect, customer service skill building. It's the confidence that they build in a public facing environment. And it's and has become deeply inclusive because now the participants that run the store are the experts. The playing field is leveled where I had purchased Legos and I have built Legos, but prior to being this involved in the store, had no real affinity or knowledge of Legos. And when we see the participants come to work and they're like really telling you about the history of Legos and the projects, and it opens up a whole new world where you get to be brought into their world almost, and now they're the experts. They're my coworkers now, but also people that we support. So I think that's how the mission really comes together, where we are meeting people where they're interested. It's person centered, and so we are really getting to see what we've done largely in a lot of the programs, in our day programs, in the pre-vote. It really is the mission personified.
I completely agree. I think it fits all those bills, just learning bits and pieces about it. I think it's very much will find a place that fits your support needs. So along those same lines, when we talk about the participants, that the individuals who are hired, what goes into that training process? How does it determine what roles they're going to play in the store? Is it determined hours that they work and things like that?
Sure. So it depends on the avenue that they come in. So if they are in our pre-vote program, then it's whatever the goals are that they're working on. So for some people, it may be money management. For some people, it may be socialization. So it depends on the skill is how we will match to the role at the store. If they're coming through Access VR, then they already have like a list of things that they're going to be working on. If they're coming from the community, then we're going to draw on their knowledge of Lego and to see where they are. And then again, it's, what are the goals that they're sharing? What are some of the things that they want to work on? And also what is the level of Lego knowledge that they have, is sort of how we determine who goes where. So as I said before, we can tailor the job to anyone's ability. So for some people, that may just be sorting larger Legos versus smaller Legos. For others, it may be in color sorting. I could sort by color. For other people, it may be I can take a set that was donated and then I can use the manual and I can see if all the pieces and parts are there. And so it really depends on who the person is and their interests and how they're presenting. And then also, as we've grown, the needs of the store, and we sort of retrofit and, shift tasks to people who are more competent in a particular area.
Absolutely. And it does sound like, in addition to all the development of, a job and like you, as you said, pre-voc, it's also great occupational therapy and manipulation. And so there, it seems like there's so many benefits of it. Um,
Absolutely.
so we talked a little bit about the people who work there. How about the donors? What does it look like when you have someone coming into the shop wanting to donate used Legos or new Legos? What process does that go through?
Sure. So oftentimes the first question is, do I have to package it a certain way? Do I have to clean it? We take it as is from the basement 20 years ago, whatever the condition is, no box. If you had them in a bag, we will take it in whatever condition. One of the things that we've learned over the years that we've been there, Legos have a very nostalgic feeling. And so a lot of times we have donors who are reluctant, but once they come into the store and they hear about the mission and the people that we're working with and sort of what it is that Brick It Again is and how we came to be, that makes the decision very easy. We've heard so many stories of, my children are no longer at home. They've moved on. They have their own families. I really have a hard time parting with it, but because of the mission and the work that you're doing, this makes the decision easier. We've had people who are relocating to other states who have large collections that have asked us to rehome their Legos. And then we have, individuals and families who will say, a part of the deal with my child or niece or nephew is that for them to get new things. So like the holidays are coming, we want to repurpose these gifts so we can make space for newer gifts. So it really depends, but there are stories attached to each of the donations. Some people, we've had schools that have done Lego drives. And so that's a part of, trying to reduce our carbon footprint and having, the Legos recirculate and be rehomed. We've had people who are spring cleaning. So it really depends on sort of where people are in their lives and,
I
yeah.
love that because I do feel like there is a huge trend towards refurbishing, repurposing that someone's junk is another's treasure. And I
Sure.
really think we as a nation are really again trying to work towards not just throwing things out but finding another purpose for it. So I love that this is, not only gives people the ability to donate, but also gives them the ability to donate to something that has meaning. I think that is absolutely huge. I've used that tactic with my son myself, that this is ready for somebody else to
Sure.
enjoy instead of it just sitting in the corner of your room. So I think that's such a beautiful philosophy to, pass it forward,
Sure. Yeah.
I did really like on the website, it had talked about, and you just mentioned it, Sarah, about hosting a Lego donation drive.
Yes.
And could you give us just some information about that?
Sure. So typically, organizations will reach out to us. So far we've had high schools that have done Earth Day Lego drives and or math programs in high schools that have done Lego drives. We've had colleges and various departments within the colleges ask us if that's okay for us to partner. We've had hospitals do, instead of a candy drive for Halloween, they have done Lego drives for us. We've had schools that have done it. And so really it's just, speaking to myself or Andrew, we'll send over any materials if they need that for logos. We'll send over information. Depending on the location, we'll send over large boxes or containers for them to receive the donations, and then they will either deliver it to the store and or we will pick it up. And so it really is a low ticket, sort of exchange, but the value in terms of getting the donations and for the community to learn about who we are, learn about our mission and where we are in the community has been tremendous. And we are always accepting donations. It's a rolling donation, so we will never have too much donations. So yes, if you have Legos that you are wanting to rehome, absolutely bring it. I will say that Lego is also a pricier gift item, and so it also affords us the opportunity to repackage and repurpose those gifts for a price point that someone who probably couldn't afford it can now afford it. So that's also, a nice thing to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a win-win. I mean, you could donate and on the flip be making a new purchase of something. And you are, Sarah, I was floored at how expensive Legos are if you purchase them brand new. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is again, it's such a great way to integrate really things that people are looking for and things that people no longer use. So it's again such a win-win experience. So I love it. So we talked a little bit about hosting a Lego donation drive, but I also saw on your website that you have on-site event.
Yes.
And I did see hosting birthday parties. Is there any other experiences that you offer at Brick-It Again?
Yes. So yes, you mentioned we host birthday parties. That has been going really well, and we're actually seeing an uptick now as the summer kind of ends and people are looking for indoor opportunities for families to celebrate. We do a Lego car race. So we had a Lego ramp that was donated from a high school, and we do car races where the individuals will come in, they will make their cars, and they race it down the ramp to see which car goes furthest, and then they'll get a prize. We also have our Halloween event where it's a build of we'll select 2 to 3 Halloween related items that individuals can make. And it's a build. There's an instructor who will, sort of do a step-by-step guide. We also have an ornament making class closer to the holidays. So we make ornaments that encompass all the holidays that are celebrated in that sort of like December to January timeframe. We also can do custom events. So for some groups, they may want a event about money management. So we can talk about how we price the Legos once we get them. We can really break it down based on the individuals. We've done some work with the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts in terms of friendship and learning and different themes that we can develop. So we're always sort of in the market for collaborating. And again, similarly to what we do with the people that we support, we can do that to tailor to each of the groups that present and sort of what they need.
That is really cool. It's almost like how they do paint nights, you do Lego nights. And what a creative way to utilize all those resources that are coming through your doors. So really beautiful. Sarah, since you've been part of the process, have there been moments that really touched you, those heartwarming, whether it be someone making a donation or one of the staff there or one of the people who work at the site? Have there been the moments that you're like, oh, this is why we do what we do?
Absolutely. So, personally, for me, one of the most impactful and meaningful experiences was a family's heartfelt gratitude for the store and the opportunity it created for their son. So, he's currently employed with us, and they've shared how transformative it has been as he eagerly anticipates coming to work, laying out his clothes from the night before. The family was actually featured in Jawonio's gala a year ago, because of the impact that the program and the store and him being gainfully employed has had on his life. They've seen such a positive transition in him, from increased confidence to a renewed sense of purpose. She shared that she didn't think that he would ever have the opportunity to work, and we've just created this wonderful space where he is a different person. She cannot believe that this is her son. And so for me, when I encounter him in the store, he and to watch him as the expert educating our customers or mentoring his peers or having relationships with his coworkers, and offering to, hey, I'm going to get lunch, would you like me to get some lunch for you? And this is a person who otherwise would not socialize in that way. So I think it really, for me, it's my favorite story, where I'm like, wow, this is why we are here, and this is why we sign up to do what we do. And I think it really represents one of my all-time favorite moments. There are others, and so I don't want to, offend anyone, but I think we've had people have romantic relationships that have stemmed from that. We've had people purchase their first car. We've had people leave, or not necessarily leave, but take on another role in other areas of Jawonio. So we have like a staff who works for us in the Lego store, who is now working in an accounting department. And just seeing that, having someone go through the continuum of services and to use the skill sets that they gain in one area and transition that somewhere else. So those are the sort of like things that are happening every day in real time. But there's so many experiences from so many of the individuals. We've had people who could not use the point of sale service, but now they are using the register. People who would be more reserved and are now engaging with our customers. So to see that transition, I think I have many moments, but yeah, that one stands out as, the one that tugs at my heart.
It sounds like this project has been transformative for everyone that it touches. So it's a really, really heartwarming story. I appreciate you sharing that. When you do you feel like there is that the community has embraced this? It sounds like they have donated, but have they really embraced it and brought it into their everyday life?
I do think so. So they have been incredible. As I have said before, schools, libraries, the hospitals, the banks have hosted Lego drives for us. We've partnered with local elementary schools for their STEM programs and hosted different events at the local colleges and universities within Rockland County. Or customers, bring other people, and they're like, this is my Lego store. And our social media following keeps growing. I think it's safe to say that we've built a loyal fan base that's invested in our mission as much as we are. And this is like really like wild. I went to a new doctor a couple months ago, and he said, "What do you do for work?" So as I was explaining, he goes, "Wait, Brick It again?" And I was like, "There is no way. Like, what are the odds?" And this is in another county. So he was like, "It's my son's favorite place to go." So I really think, hearing those things and seeing that the growth that we've had, and, they're in the strip mall that we engage. So the local pizza shop is who we purchase our pizzas from for the birthday parties. We go to Dollar Tree to get our different, things that we may need for the store. We go to the supermarket to purchase the beverages for the birthday parties. So it really is an immersion into the space, and not just, oh, it's another store. People know our story. They know the people that are working there. And I really think we've really accomplished our goal to be fully immersed and really inclusive.
Completely. And I think you're providing a service that no one else has tapped into. And again, for a something that there's just so much interest out there for. Um, do you find, Sarah, that there are those coveted Lego? I see a lot of Star Wars Legos and Harry Potter Legos. What do people come in for? I mean, I know everyone has their own areas, but what do you find is a big draw to Brick It again?
Sure. So because we're a Lego resale store and because people are donating from years of their Lego collection, what we found is we are a haven for Lego enthusiasts and collectors because there are some sets or some pieces that Lego themselves have stopped making. So you really only will get it at a thrift store or a store like a resale store. So we will have, and I'm learning every day, there are different colors. There's some colors that shade is not made anymore, and so we really have become sort of this cool space for people to be like, do you have this specific one part? And of course, my staff are like, absolutely, that came in last week and here it is. We've had a teacher who actually came in and said, I'm working with a child who's on the autism spectrum. We cannot find this one piece that he needs to complete the set. It is really a problem for him, right? We need, and by some miracle, we actually had the piece. And for whatever reason, Andrew, the store manager, knew exactly where it was. And, she wrote back to say, you have no idea how much this helped to close this for the individual that she was supporting. And so it's those stories that really sets us apart. And that, we're big competition. We're here to stay. We're in the community, and we're making a name for ourselves.
I definitely think you have. Absolutely. And I can imagine how frustrating it can be when you have that last piece. It's like having the last piece of a puzzle and you don't feel that sense of completion, but
Sure.
having that, I mean, having that resource to be able to go like, hey, and having knowledgeable staff and management and, it really again cultivates that immersion into the community. So it just again, time and time again, I say it's such a win-win for everyone involved. The only other question I kind of thought of is it's out of the blue. I thought, well, have you guys thought about franchising? Has that been a discussion? Because it just feels like this could be a benefit to a lot of organizations.
So, funny story is, I think Randy has thought about franchising from day one. Um, and she actually, tease her about it. But absolutely, yes, it's something that we think we can take on the road. We hope to be able to replicate this. As I said before, when you think about the work that we do here at Jawonio, you would probably never think Lego and Jawonio. And we've demonstrated, I think, that it can work, it is working, and the impact is tremendous. And so, I will leave my contact information for you guys to put into show notes, but we are ready to go and franchise, and looking forward for, any opportunity to definitely speak to any other organizations or groups that want to, learn about what we've done and how we've.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes, it just feels like it needs to be out there in the ether because it's just such I don't know how you could look at it from a negative standpoint. I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be, learning curves, but in general, it just seems like such a positive spin on getting your name recognized for this beautiful collaboration. And as long as we're talking about, let's talk about Brick-A-Palooza. I know it's coming up September 20th, and we'd love to hear more about that event.
Absolutely. So Brick-A-Palooza is our big family-friendly Lego festival. It is a full day of interactive builds. We're going to have vendor booths, incredible Lego displays, and hands-on activities for individuals of all ages. So more than just a celebration of creativity, it's our practical way for our community to see our mission in action, meeting the people that we support, witnessing their talents, and understanding the impact of. So to your point, we want to get this out. We want everyone to know about Brick It Again. We want us to be the one-stop shop, the first place you think of when you're thinking about, purchasing Legos for yourself or for a gift. It's an opportunity to support and amplify our mission while putting your dollars towards meaningful events that create lasting change. We're inviting all Lego fans, families, local businesses to join us for the day. It is going to be on September 20th on Jawonio's main campus, which is located at 260 North Little Tour Road in New City, New York. The event starts at 10 a.m. and will run to 4 p.m. and we are looking forward to having the community come out and support. I am going to ask, shameless plug, for everyone to like, follow, and share all our content on all social media platforms. We are at Brick It Again everywhere.
Wonderful. And thank you so much. What is, and I'm not sure, Sarah, if you said this, if the website that, because I did notice that you can purchase Legos and you don't have to be physically on site to purchase Legos.
That is correct. So we ship anywhere in the United States of America. So you can shop 24/7, 365 days a year. We will get it to you.
Amazing. Amazing. This has been such an informative session. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate your expertise, your enthusiasm for this beautiful, I don't know, I think it's so much more than a project. It's a, an experience, as we said, that just learning more about this has been really informative and special to our podcast. So thank you so much for your time.
It is my pleasure. And I just wanted to give a shout out to our team here at Jawonio and our Brick It Again Lego resale store team. I am here just as the voice on the podcast, but it takes a village for us to do what we do. So really major shout out to the Brick It Again family. And I hope to see everyone at the Brick-A-Palooza event. And if you listened and you're there because of the podcast, definitely let me know so we can post and tag and share.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it for this edition of Short Stated, a quick hit from CP Stated. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to check out the full CP Stated podcast for deeper conversations and stories from across the disability field. Until next time, stay connected, stay committed, and stay CP Stated.